Hi friends, I wanted to come on here and give you guys an update. So today's question to myself is, am I doing enough? I feel like I asked this question to myself a lot. Again, Misty and her first world problems. I always feel behind. Okay, let's just get into it and I'll explain to you why. So some life update. I lied, I'm not going back to school. I didn't lie, okay? When I said I was going back to school, I was registered and ready to go back to school. But now I can tell you what I was trying to do at that. I thought I wanted to go into psychiatry because you know how I dropped out of the clinical psych program. I really enjoyed the neuro part of it. We had some neuro classes. We talked about SSRI medication and like all types of just like meds. I feel like being educated about the meds that people intake is really interesting. I just felt like maybe if I became a psychiatrist, I would be able to do a little more. Like, I'm a very big like mind and body person. I feel like you need to kind of understand both to really do a better job in my head. Yeah, so like for a minute there, I think it was also like a combination of stuff. So the job that I was working at wasn't really providing me much stimulation. I wasn't really doing much day to day. Hank Green, I think, puts it very well. He said in a video that social media is kind of like a junk food, and I think I spent a lot of time intaking a lot of useless information, especially like all of last year because I had nothing to do at work. When your boss doesn't come to work, there's only so much I can do myself, you know? It just really drained me. It wasn't even being bored, but I was like intaking so much useless information. I don't know, I just crave like real education, real learning. That's why I was like getting so many certificates and whatever. But anyways, I thought about that. I bought all the MCAT books. Dude, I have like a whole box over there, but this is the official guide to MCAT exam. When I want to do something, I am all in for that minute. So that's what happened. I was all in for a minute there. Super all in, okay? I enrolled in classes. I was harassing advisors. I was like, what do? I have all of this education that has nothing to do with med school. I would have to go take the prereqs. Can I take a placement exam? Can you transfer my transcripts over? How would I be able to do it? Blah, blah, blah. Again, I calculated it. It would take 10 years. And this was the time where news just came out about the cuts to federal loans and just like everything else. I thought about it again, and knowing myself and my commitment issues, like it took me a while to be like, I want to go back to school. I did a lot of reflecting. I wrote a lot of things down and I was like, I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this. But I feel like if you really want to do something, do you have to explain to yourself why you want to do something? I don't know. So for a minute there, I really wanted to go back to school. For a minute there. Because like I'm not that good at school. Just like getting into more debt. That's like life-changing debt right there. Med school loans. I read this one called The Kitchen Shrink that made me not want to get into psychiatry because it talks a lot about the system, the healthcare system, and a lot of times even when you're the psychiatrist you can't really do anything. In a sense, like insurance companies are in charge. They kind of play a really big role in our healthcare system, and Misty doesn't like systems. I don't know, but this is like an outdated book. This was written in 2010. I don't know if it has gotten better or worse. I'm clearly not in the field. I don't really know anything. I just keep reading books. In theory, right, I read these books and I'm like, oh, maybe I want to do this. But then like when you actually go do the thing and you're like, actually, I don't think I can do this. So like, I don't want that to happen again, especially when I'm paying to go back to school. So I'm not going back to school. As soon as I was like, I'm not going back to school, I was like, what do I do next? Let me see, let me pull it out. Ta-da, it's in here, but my teaching English in a second language certificate isn't here. It's just like a collection of certificates and like over the years of things I have collected, awards and stuff. I don't know if other people collect those, but I thought it was a smart idea to put them all in a binder. So I got that certificate, and for a minute there I was like, you know what, I'm about to ship myself off to China because I don't know if you guys have a bucket list. I have a bucket list. I might share it with you guys one day. We'll see. But on that bucket list, I want to travel China. You don't understand. 我想看好吗？我想去旅游去感受世界. Like, I did the math and I would be living quite lavish in China if I got a job teaching English because the cost of living is so much cheaper than it is here. But also it low-key is like career suicide in a sense. So yeah, like I did get a certificate, but I'm not going to China anytime soon, it seems. So after that, I finally quit my job. I gave my boss like 3 weeks. It ended up being 2 because, no, I don't want to share too much because it is his private life. I wasn't getting paid on one time. So I was just like, yo, I gave you 2 weeks. Everything just added up and it's just been a year. So because it's at will employment, I just felt like that job, I really had no growth whatsoever. There was no financial growth. I wasn't learning anything. There wasn't even like a team or an environment that I wanted to stay. It was me for a long time. Okay, the only person I was talking to was like the mailman and like angry clients. I'd be angry too. Okay, anyways, that is that. So currently I got a per diem job as a behavioral specialist. They had a orientation this week, so I'm like CPR certified, I'm safe care certified, which is fun, but it's also per diem. So if I find a full-time, I might go. This is also because I was like, oh, like I wanted to go back to school, blah blah blah. I think like this job would look good on a med school application in my head. So today I had an interview. This was the 3rd round for a job. It's also admin assistant. Okay, but I don't understand why there's like rounds of interviews when you're not gonna hire me, you know? I've been on rounds of interviews where like I was literally talking to the director, you know? I just feel like you don't need to keep me for the last round if you guys have someone else in mind. I don't know, there was a few times where it was like, oh, we just wanted someone more experienced. That's why like right now I kind of stopped applying to higher education admin jobs, because there's just too many times where they're like, oh, we just wanted someone more experienced. And also because the last person I talked to, like the manager that was interviewing me, told me that she applied to this specific like university for 6 years and then finally got the job. So personally for me, I feel like if I work on something for a year and there's no result whatsoever, I feel like it's time to pivot. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, to be honest, because my mom says like if you work hard enough, there is going to be results no matter what. It doesn't mean like you'll get like really big results, but at least there's some results, you know? I don't know if like giving up in a year is that great. Like maybe there was something on the other side and I just didn't work for it. But for me, in my head, I'm like, if this thing isn't fruitful like within a year, I just don't think I should continue doing it if I don't enjoy it. I'll find out soon if I get the job or not. My hopes aren't high. When I applied for the job, my hope wasn't that high. Like I don't even know how I managed to get to the 3rd round, but also like I just think for an admin job, 3 rounds is a little much, and I had to go in person. And today was not a great day because I was doing orientation, and right now currently where I live, they're fixing a bridge, and this bridge, bro, the traffic on this bridge is insane. So I had to drive all the way back to my house and then like further down to the place that I applied to. So that is that. So I was doing a UX UI certificate a few days ago. I haven't finished. Google has like certificates. I was doing one of those. I think I finished the UX part. I'm currently working on the UI part. I just like personal growth, and I think like there's so much to learn, and I kept plugging my information into a AI bot and asking it what to do with my life, because currently I'm going through it. So I was like, hey, can you analyze like, you know, my skills and what I can do? I know UX UI right now isn't that great a market. Nothing is really a great market anyways. I don't know. I feel like another skill is nice to have. I am working on writing my friends' letters. Let me show you something. Dun, dun. Ta-da! Found all of these like Superman comics, and I think they're pretty cool. They were only $1, so I got a bunch of these, and I want to give my friends a comic because I like mailing stuff, and I was like, what's fun? And I think they're pretty cool. Okay, so we're finally getting back to the question, like, is this enough? I think the other thing about like living at home and like also just me as a person, I don't do that much socializing. There are a lot of chances where I could be more social. I have friends that invite me to parties, and Misty is the worst person to bring to a party. I am so awkward at parties. I'm extroverted when there's only introverts, and when there's a lot of extroverts, I become the introvert. I have never been like a party scene person. I don't know, maybe because like when I was younger, like I couldn't make it to any of the parties, and so like after a while I was like whatever, because like my parents were busy, and maybe I'm just not doing enough in the socialization part, because like we are social creatures. I don't mind meeting new people. It's just like some people have hobbies, some people, you know, I go to work and I go home and I rant on the internet. Like, I really think in-person interaction is really important for everyone. I don't know if I'm getting a lot of that, and I wouldn't say it's like a problem per se, but I think maybe I should make my efforts. You know, you can't expect like to meet people, you know? Like, I feel like my clock is ticking. Again, like I talked about this because like society is like, oh, your biological clock is ticking. And like, yeah, like prior my mom was like, you know, do you want to go on a blind date? And I'm like, no. And so now I'm not unemployed. I've never really been fully unemployed. I have always been sort of like, I'm always like picking up a shift here or there. If I'm not working, I'm at a restaurant, okay? Like serving food. Like money has to come in somehow, okay? I'm never going to be fully unemployed. I will do whatever it takes to at least have some income. I think like being sort of valuable to society is something that I seek. Anyways, but because I'm not fully employed, my mom has pivoted the conversation to what job are you gonna get and like stuff like that, which I think was pretty good. I don't mind that. She can keep talking about that. But if she like one more time about blind dates, I'm moving out because like last year I literally paid her rent to live here. So because like in my head, I'm always like family first. Again, I don't have like very specific goals in life and whatever. Sat myself down and I was like, what do you want this lifetime? And I really do think that spending time with my parents and my sisters and whatever, like just family first always. I think the second thing on there was to eventually be able to help out financially at home, but like clearly right now I'm just like vibing. That's what I keep thinking about, I guess. Like back to the question, like, am I doing enough? I feel like that's like everybody's question. It's like, do you live in the present and like, you know, spend whenever you want, or do you like save for the future? But I feel like it has to be kind of a mixture of both, because you don't know exactly what's gonna happen in the future, and sometimes it's really like, wow, you can like pass away tomorrow, you know? Like if, again, like biologically, if I want to start a family, like I do have to think about it, you know, I kind of have to put in the effort if that's the case. But like I have always been like, if there's a person in my vicinity, again, like you can't be expecting people to show up in your life, but because like I'm so like dead set on like a socially accepted checklist of being enough, you know? And I don't think I'm getting any of these right. It's hard to not compare, you know? And I get that like everyone's going through their own thing, and like my friends that like actually work in corporate don't enjoy it. I know friends that have been trying to find another job and can't, and I know friends that are smarter than me and they're still dealing with underemployment. I think like everyone has their own share of things, and I do try to, it's just going through it is not a fun time, and I'm just giving you an update as to Misty still not having a fun time. Also, it's October. I feel like around this time, it's always when I am back to step one, kind of. I don't know, but what is the next step, you know? I think I have a fear of not being valuable in a sense. I don't think anyone really has it figured out, okay? Like, define figured out. But again, Misty still feels like she's not doing enough, okay? That is my very long and in-depth update. I hope everything is well. We're attempting to live life as much as I can. I feel like it's definitely a hard time for everyone. And politically, it's... I am so tired of reading news, bro. The East Wing is getting teared down right now, and it's... I don't know, every day is just safe to say, like, we're all in this together regardless of our beliefs. And hopefully one day I will come back here and be like, hey guys, I figured it out. So like right now, and probably a good while, I'm gonna still be here talking about how my life's not together. That was today's rant. I'll definitely be back with some more thoughts to ponder that aren't like so first world. I say this every time, but clearly, what am I up to? Not much. Am I doing enough? Probably not. You know, we're living lives, and I have never been that hard on myself. Like, I like to ask the question about like, am I doing enough? I'm like, if I'm existing, gola. I don't know, maybe this is delusional. I feel like if other generations have done fine, we will too. Even though like, I think our problems are very, very different, and I don't know, the extent to everyone's problem varies a lot, but we'll be fine. Okay, bye-bye.